Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Badminton Horse Trials 2010. Today we've got a very special interview with William Fox-Pitt, fresh from his fabulous Kentucky win. If I give you a brief rundown of William's successes. William is 2 times world number 1 and 7 times British number 1. He's won Olympic team bronze at the Beijing Olympics and silver at Athens. He's been individual silver medalist twice at the Europeans and has won 7 European team golds. William joined Mark Todd and Ginny Elliott in becoming only the 3rd competitor to win five Burghley titles in 2008. And achieved a lifelong ambition of winning badminton horse trials in 2004 with the fabulous Tamarillo. Williams also won the HSBC Classics in 2008, a series linking up the top 5 3-day events in the world. All these achievements make William one of the most successful British 3-day event riders ever. Interviewing William, we have Albion Saddlemakers to the stars, Sherry Belton. Sherry is a founder member and the managing director of Albion Saddlemakers with over 30 years fitting experience. She's fitted more than 15 Olympic riders in 7 different countries, including William, Laura Bechtolsheimer and Klaus Balkenhol. As well as looking after all of these sponsored riders, Sherry also trains saddle fitters worldwide in correct and ethical saddle fitting. So ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Belton and William Fox-Pitt.
Well, William, I want to say, first of all, a massive congratulations on your win in Kentucky. Was this expected?
Thank you very much. No, it wasn't at all expected. Cool Mountain's quite an inexperienced horse, and he was competing in his first 4-star. And whilst I hoped he'd go well, I never quite imagined that he'd win, and it was very exciting, and it's fantastic for me to have another horse coming through to such a high level.
Okay, and is it correct that you started and finished on your dressage score?
Yeah, that was the greatest thrill, really. I think to lead from the dressage and to finish on my dressage score. I've never won a 4-star like that before. I've won a few 4-stars now, but never on my dressage score. So that was quite a thrill.
That's absolutely amazing. Okay, next big question for you is, how is the weather going to affect your tactics for the next day? Obviously cross country tomorrow. You've come from, it's been very hard for weeks, and now we've got cooler weather and obviously much softer going.
I think you can never really imagine what the weather's going to be like at badminton. In the build-up, it has been very, very dry, so we've been praying for rain. Now we got rain, and we don't want too much more. And the forecast for tomorrow is quite heavy rain, I believe, all day, which is far from ideal, particularly if you're drawn last to go, which is I am on Sea Cookie. So I think you have to not worry about it too much. Just get out there and do your best and ride according to the conditions. That's what 3-day eventing is all about. And sometimes you get lucky and go early, and sometimes you get lucky and go late, and we'll just have to see. But the ground can take a bit more rain.
Okay, that's fine. Obviously, I believe this is the 3rd year that we haven't had roads and tracks. Is this year 3? It is year 3. How is it affecting your choice of horses? Obviously, it takes a long time to bring a 4-star horse through, but now you must be looking at your horses with a different eye. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, I think very much so. I think you are looking for a slightly different type of horse. You don't need the horses that have that amazing endurance factor, and I only have to ride around here to remember what we used to do in the olden days, which wasn't that long ago. We just the horses used to go for miles and miles before they got to the cross country. Now they got to the cross country that much fresher. But the courses have changed, they're much twistier. You can see here the trend is for quite a lot of turning, circling, which does knock the horses, does make them much tighter, particularly as you get towards the end of this course, and there's a lot of jumping efforts. When it was long format, you didn't used to get so much twisting and turning on the courses. So it used to even out. But I think the emphasis now is much more on the dressage and the jumping, and the type of horse has changed. I think certainly if you look at the Beijing Olympics, horses that finished first and second, they wouldn't have been there in the old long format. Simple as that. And then again, you get horses like Miners Frolic, who is a fantastic horse, and he would win whether it was long or short format. But I think it's opened the doors to a few more horses, which I suppose is only a good thing.
And has this actually changed the way you prepare your horses and the amount of work you do, or is it different work? Because I think in a way you're not looking for speed as much as stamina now.
I think you have, you have changed your work in a way, but the horses that I bring here would be very much doing the same work as if it was long format. I believe they still need to come here very, very fit. But I think there are some horses that would get here, with short format. Maybe you'd miss a little bit of work with a nail prick, and you might, you might still think, well, actually, Badminton's still on the cards. And in long format days, you'd have given up and had another target. So I think it, if the ground comes up good and horses cope with that, then they don't have to be quite so fit. But I think actually I would have mine every bit as fit. I don't want to finish with a tired horse, and they've got to come out and jump well on the Sunday as on the Monday this time as well. So I think it's still pretty tough on them.
Okay, William. Many of you won't know this, but William and I have worked together now for nearly 24 years, which is quite a long time. And we've developed many products over the years for different horses, different types of horses. And I just wanted to have the opportunity of asking William what he really thinks, which part he's enjoyed the most. Is it the saddle development or the accessory development, and how the trends are changing at the moment?
Well, yes, I've been very, very lucky to have worked with Sherry and Albion since I was 18, and that's when I bought my first dressage saddle, and we came across Albion at Weston Park, and my mother thought it was about time that I didn't do my dressage in a GP saddle and that I learned how to do sitting trot. And that's very much how it all started. And where I've been very, very lucky is, I've been involved with Albion through Albion's development, through my development. We've had many discussions with Sherry on types of saddles, alterations, different types of horses. It's been a fantastic experience, and I've found Albion have been a brilliant company to work with. They're never happy, never complacent with what they've got. They're always looking to the next thing, the next saddle that's just going to make that minute difference. You look at the scores here; we're all within 0.2, 0.1. And it can finish like that, and that's the difference between winning and losing. So maybe with a correctly fitted saddle, maybe with a saddle that suits a certain rider, you can actually get that another inch of trot out of your horse, a bit more relaxation out of your horse, and that's where Albion are looking to make that difference. And the attention to detail is always fantastic, and accessories on top of that have come into it. The saddles are very much the first thing, and the natural progression was onto all the other bits and pieces, and that is part of the package, and is vital for business and for turning out horses to a high standard.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions that have been emailed in from around the world. Okay, question number 1: do you get nervous before a particular discipline?
I think, you get nervous before all the disciplines. I think that in the olden days, I was always terrified of the show jumping. I was particularly bad at it, and it was an area that I wasn't confident in. So you naturally are more nervous. Now you're equally nervous, but you're nervous to try to do well. You know that one fence down is very costly and potentially very frustrating. So it can all hinge on that. On the last day, but then dressage likewise, it's also very nerve-wracking. You need to do as good a test you can. You need to not let your horse down. You have to hope he goes in the arena and he can concentrate. And if you don't do a good test, you've got no hope. So again, plenty of nerves in the dressage, and then cross country is kind of a different sort of nerves. I mean, you know, you really want to get out there and look forward to going cross country, but at the same time, there's plenty of terror as well. I think, you know, we all know what can go wrong, but I think as much as anything else, it's kind of fear of making a stupid mistake or just losing an opportunity. But the cross country is what it's all about, and I would say that probably out of the three, I'd be most nervous for the show jumping.
Thank you. And have you chosen your potential 2012 Olympic horse yet? Has the horse chosen you yet?
That's a tricky one, really. I think we're still a little way away from 2012. I think I'm very lucky to have a super string of horses coming on and some great owners backing me. And who knows? I think that the important thing for me is to go into that year with a strong hand of horses. I think I'm hoping that I don't just maybe have one good one and hopefully have a couple, because anything can go wrong. And I think all of us riders want to really make sure that we've got a horse to ride there. It's very hard to say. I've got a couple of lovely 8-year-olds who will be 10 then and young enough. And at the other end of the scale, Hidalgo will only be 16 then. So it just depends which way it goes. I'm not going to commit more than that. That's far too dangerous.
Okay. William, thank you very much. Has anybody got any questions in the audience? We'll take 2 questions because I know William's on a mission. He's arrived slightly late and he's got guests. Any questions? Anybody? Okay.
That's a good question. Do you think you can do more short format 4 stars with a horse than you used to be able to do long format? I think the tendency is to think you can. I think that there are a few horses now that you see kind of pop up again at Poe at the end of the year, having done Burley or having done Blenheim or another big 3-day. I think you might get away with that once or twice, but I think that long term, no. I think the horses, it's as much that goes into the preparation of the competition as the actual competition itself. And I think horses do need a nice downtime after a big 3-day like this to just let themselves mentally and physically unwind. And I think that if you treat the short format 3-day like the old long format and respect it, I think you've got more chance of your horses surviving well into old age and being very useful when they're at the height of their careers.
William, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. Super answers to the questions. I'm sure there are a couple of people that have waited to sign a few autographs. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and thank you, William.